Hey guys, so here's another one. Basically, I've got one more MB30 Flash Cart to do, because I ordered 3 from Osh Park. So I figured, since I'm trying a new recording setup yet again, see how this one works out. Figured I might as well do this on camera as well. See if the video turns out any better than before. So I've prepared all of the components here. Now I just have to assemble them, although I do have to actually get a couple from the original board, which is what I will do now. So first off, just remove the battery from the Pokemon Crystal cart. Come on, there you go. Because I do not want to explode it when I use this hot air to remove the MBC30, and I've discovered that this is an SRAM power management chip, so that's what you remove from the regular cart. As I say, I don't really use flux when removing these because I really just don't think that it's necessary. I mean, I've got plenty of flux. I just do not see the need. I mean, see how easy that came off? I mean, maybe if it wasn't decent solder and came off that easily, maybe I would, but yeah. So let's put that to one side because I don't need that anymore. I've got all of these little capacitors and resistors ready, but I'm just gonna start with this. So let's zoom in. Hey, fancy. And I want some solder. So I'm just starting with the FRAM, or FE-RAM, if you prefer to call it that. My soldering iron is going down in temperature, so I'll just turn that on. So I'm just going to move these out of the way slightly. Just need to get the little OR gate out of the way. There you go. Right, so let's just tack the corner here and get this into position. And probably burn my thumb in the process. That was very hot. There you go. Looks pretty good. Actually, it's slightly off center. There, that's much better. And a bit of solder on this side. And now is the time for flux. So let's just put that into shot. Get it fluxed up to the max. And get some soldering. Come on. Wick along, please. There we go. That's what I'm after. Realistically, I should probably use a better tip on the soldering iron, because a conical one's not great, but I'm too lazy to actually change it. Just dropping my flux. Along we go. Come on. Okay, I was just trying a new thing there with my tools. They're now on the floor. So I guess that thing did not work. A little bit more. Honestly, this probably would work better if I had it on the same side as me, because I'm on this side. Normally I do it that way. Do. There you go. Yeah, that's done. So I will do the little awkward one now. So that's the OR gate, which is this little 6-pin chip here. And I like to use my magnifying glass. I wonder if I could use it through the viewfinder here. Hey, nice. So it looks like it's on the right orientation already. Sorted. So a little bit of solder on some pads off to the side. So yeah, I'm basically just using up the last of my PCBs here because this is revision 1.3. Revision 1.3.1 is out, which obviously fixes this C2 issue. I think there was a like here, these two pins here on the MBC30, those two are bridged. I think there's two of them on 0.1 bridged as well, because they're both ground as well. But now there is a 1.3.2 as well, and for some reason what it actually does eludes me. I probably should have looked that up, but who needs to be prepared? It's not like there's a whole organization dedicated to being prepared or anything. I really shouldn't have done that much, but I think that's working now. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit off center actually. There you go. No, I think I'd prefer to move it a bit further up. There's that. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's an example of what not to do when soldering. Always make sure that you've got it aligned first before you do that sort of thing. There you go, those pins that look it. And obviously I've got solder on these pins. Let's just flow them properly. There you go. So actually, the last video that I did, because I've recorded one of these, I've made another one since then, but it looks like in the first one where I did record it, I had the third pin here floating. So it was very confusing to me because when I was trying to flash the ROM, it was, well, basically doing very, very strange things. It would read the ROM, then it wouldn't read the ROM, and then it would, and then it wouldn't. And it was just, I had no idea what was going on. And in the end, oh, why did I do that again? In the end, I actually destroyed the shell by putting it in and out so many times because I just did not understand what was going on. Ugh. Again, this is an example of what not to do. I'm just silly. I don't want these ones. I want these ones. I've got two pairs of, well, I've got more than two, but these are the two I mainly use. I like these ones because these are quite wide, because they're quite weak. But they're good for gripping chips to turn around. And as I am a dum-dum, I just did the exact same thing that I said not to do. There you go, that looks pretty good. Oh. Nearly dropped my heat station there. Heat gun, air gun. Heat air gun. Some sort of station that shoots hot air. I don't know what I'm seeing. So now that those are in, just do the rest. Not bothered about the shorts just yet, I'm just adding solder. And then I'm going to flux it up to the max. And get some bridges. Everybody likes bridging. See if I can zoom that in a bit more. So as you can see, there's a bridge just here. Come on, focus there please. Focus and don't wobble. I'll zoom out slightly. There you go. So I'm just gonna get that bridge out, assuming I can get that in. There you go. So we've got a little bit of bridging here. Basically I just used far too much solder. If you don't use as much, then you'll get much better results. Come on. Why does that look strange? That's it. There you go. Oh, sorry, it was just at a shot there. So these are the two where the bridge is supposed to be. That's why it's looking strange. I just completely forgot. And the last side. Again, I'm out of shot because I'm not looking at the camera because I'm not used to it. I just like to chuck a bit of flux on when doing that because that makes it go a lot faster. And there you go. So that's the MBC30 soldered in. Now we just need to test anyway. We just need the ROM chip. And I mean, I guess I could put all the capacitors and such on. I don't actually think you need them to test it, but it doesn't hurt. So you've got the dot in the top right, so the dot on the chip itself goes to the top right. Just clean up my tip again, and then see if I can get this lined up. So I'm going to just put a little bit in this corner so I can line this up properly. Let's see if I can do it with the camera. It doesn't want to move. Let's see if that's any good. Nope, that's in fact very, very bad. I'll just use my eyes, it's easier. Hopefully I'll be able to see better on the camera when it's on a big screen. It's just obviously mine is on a little screen. So it's lined up pretty well, but it needs moving slightly to the right. So it uses up a little bit more of the pad. So this ROM chip, this EEPROM, it's a bit more tricky to work with than usual because I've actually used this one before. Come on, just move, would you? Hang on. I need to be able to see, and it's still a bit tricky to see when it's on camera. It wouldn't have been so bad if I hadn't used this before, but as I was going to say, this is the one from the first video, because I was confused about this chip here, because like I say, I had this third pin floating and it was causing very strange behaviors. So what I did was I desoldered this one, put a new one on. Obviously that didn't help, but I wasn't sure what was going on at the time. So now, come on, line up. Just trying to line up this side. I should have just used another new one. Come on. Line up, please. There we go. Right. So that's lined up there. So, yeah. You can see that those are all lined up nicely. So now I'll just put a bit of solder in. Put a bit of flux. And see if we can get this nicely soldered on. So there's far too much solder on that. Come on. Up you come. Sorry. Doing the same thing. I think I'll have to try and adjust where the camera is floating so I can get a bit closer to what I'm doing. Just so I can see a little better. Right, that's looking good. So I can't see if there's any bridges there. I will have to look at that a bit more up close in a minute. Just going to do this first, however. can't see, like I say, I can't see fully as it's a little far away, so I think what I might actually do is if I zoom out, then I can bring it a little closer without upsetting the camera angle. So there's a little bit of solder, extra solder here, causing shorts, and a little on the right. Let's see if I can flow that back down, however. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to change the tip next time. Next time I do one of these. Even if it's not on camera, because this tip is not helping. Okay, so I think that's that side done. Let me just have a quick look. Yeah, that's looking decent. And let's have a look at this side. So there's plenty of shorts on this side because I couldn't see. You should be able to see 3 or so. So what I will do is I will just flux that up, get all of the solder that I want to remove into the same area. And then I can get all of that up at once, hopefully. Yeah, man. Let's see how that goes. So there's a tiny bit left. I think this has taken quite a while this time, isn't it? I think it went a lot better last time. There we go. I'm fairly certain that's done. And yeah, there's just one bridge right at the end there, which I'm apparently incapable of seeing, but I don't think... Oh, no, never mind. It's really hard to see in person. How's that? Yeah, that's better. Good. Right. Next I will just add all of these capacitors and resistors. So I've got them in order. So that one's supposed to be there. So I just need to tin up all of these pads. I'll just do the right pads first for the orientation that I solder from, since I am right-handed. As I've said in the last video, however, I won't be doing C2, which is down in this corner, because that's a 1.3 specific thing. C2 was moved just to the left of the ROM chip in 1.3.1. So this is R1, which is a 330k resistor. And that goes just here, if I can get it off my tweezers. Then we've got R2, which is a 10k resistor, which goes just to the right of the FRAM chip. I've got it upside down now. I do not like it upside down, and now I have lost it. That's not it, that's just a solder ball. Oh no! R2! Well, that's irritating. Okay, well, I am going to skip that for the moment. It's not on the end of my tip. I will come back to that, unless I can spot it during the meanwhilest. So R3 goes just here. This would be so much easier if these things would not stick to my tweezers. There's R3. Now I've got C4 and C5 here, which are just next to the 330 keyer. And these are 15 picofarad capacitors. Just the two of them, which is how I'm aware of which is which. And then I've got 4 100 nanofarad or 0.1 microfarad capacitors. C7 is at this orientation. Come on, down you go. Then C3. And lastly, C1. And there we go. Then I just need to add some solder to the other side of the pad. Well, to the other pad, I should say. The other side of the capacitor and resistor. In you go. No, don't bridge. Okay. C6 as well. It's at a bit of an angle, but I'm going to have to come back to it and do R2 anyway. So I think that's pretty much sorted for the moment. Oh, actually, never mind. I can see R2 there. It's just in this little well here. I'll add that now in that case. So R2 goes next to the FRAM. Like so. Bit of solder. Make sure it's on correctly. And there we go. So at this point, I will pick up a toothbrush that I accidentally dropped on the floor earlier. And a bit of pipe here. And there you go. Just clean that side as well. Right, so I was trying to be prepared. However, I do not have a Game Boy right next to me. So 2 seconds. So this is the one I made last time. And this is the one I am going to test. So in there, into there, and let's see how it goes. Because it should already be flashed, yeah. Because as I say, this is the one I did in the previous video. So that's gone pretty well. Oh, it's got a save on it as well. How's that? Okay. Mystery gift. I don't know why it's got a mystery gift. That shouldn't be the case. So that's all sorted. I guess now I just need to put the crystal in, which is responsible for the RTC. Which is real-time clock. And then the battery, which will go on there. So as you could see, there is no battery, and it saved, or it had thought it had saved, except that it was corrupt. And that's because FRAM is non-volatile, which means that even when it's not powered, it retains the data. So the battery, go in. The battery is only for, come on, just, it keeps sticking to my finger. I think I've got flux on my finger, or on the crystal. The FRAM means that you do not need a battery for the save. You only need it for the RTC, which is for timed events in games such as Pokemon Crystal or Crystal Clear, which is what I'm going to flash to it because of this cool art. That is super cool art. It really is. There we go. So then I just like to add a bit of solder to this pad. Then which way does this go? It goes this way around. And I do not touch this when I'm soldering it because it gets very hot very quickly. There you go. I'll do that more in a second. Just add some solder to this side to hold it down. Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember that 1.3.2 has the rounded edges. I was going to say I like the original, but actually it doesn't seem to have rounded edges. So I'm not sure if that's just an idea they've come up with. I know it was mentioned, but I was busy at the time, so I wasn't paying too much attention. Silly me. And that's my last CR 2025. I am gonna just quickly clean this again. Oops, sorry. It still feels a little tacky. Probably because there's flux on the mat as well, and I've been doing it on the mat still. So there you go. That's pretty much it. Put that in there. Put that in there. Obviously I'll screw it back in later. But for the moment, that's done. I just like to press those buttons. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to test the save works. That when you hold down select, it goes straight to the main screen. Have fun! I'm ABBA. And I'm blue. I'm blue. Da-ba-dee-da-ba-da. Yeah, Bulbasaur's fine. One of these days I'll probably get a shiny starter while testing. At which point I'll transfer it over to my other game. This one here. Ooh, that's mine. So we'll see you 4 minutes past 10. I don't really... well, actually it is Saturday, isn't it? It doesn't matter though. Not while testing, at least. Yes, we will overwrite the save that I didn't even do, because that's supposed to be a new FRAM. Yeah, sure. So that's not shiny. But there you go, we're in the game. So now if we turn it off and back on, it's 10:05 and the save file is corrupted. Ooh. Ooh, that's not what we want, is it? So let's have a quick look here and see why that is. So what controls the save is the FRAM, obviously, which is here. So that all looks soldered down pretty well. And that. So it's probably this little chip here, which I just sort of went at haphazardly. So I'll just push the battery out. And let's try to fix this up. So I'm thinking that it's just not making a contact on every pin. So I think what I'll do actually is I will use some hot air. And I am just going to double check, make sure it's the right way around. Yeah. Yeah, that's the right way around. So come on. Okay, just let that cool down. How's that gone? It's a little lopsided, but I think it's actually on there a little better. So I guess try again. I'm just going to blow on it so it doesn't crack this any more than it already is. These shells are very brittle, as you can see. There's a little gouge out there and there's sort of a crack coming up. And I do not think heat from this would help it all that much. Where did I put the top? I put it over here. I like to do that. So obviously the save file is going to be corrupted because it wasn't in right, assuming it is that, and therefore it didn't save correctly. So maybe there was a save on there and I've reused that. I don't think that I did though. So I'm a little confused about that. I'm green this time. No dabba-dee. Just gonna turn it down. It's 10, sure, 2 minutes past. It doesn't matter because I haven't put the battery in. And we will save the game. Come on, be shiny. You know you want to be. No! So yeah, you can see shiny Pokemon on the nickname screen now as well, in crystal clear. Oh, save file is still corrupted. So I will be back in a minute after I figure out what's going on. Back in a mo. Okay, so just thought I would finish this off now. It's been a while since I did this because I had to go out after I did it, but I've done my outdoor things and I figured it out. So theoretically this should still be working. And there you go. I've just put the battery in because I had that out, and there you go. I just made a new save and it's working, so that's good. One thing I am gonna quickly check, so just to mention what it was the FRAM chip. Must be bad, so I just swapped a new one in and it works. So I'm just gonna try this on this Sunny cart made by Mako, because it was being strange on here as well. There you go, you can see it's reading Pokemon Crystal. So I backed up my save from my other one, and now I'm just going to see if I can restore it. Ooh, did not verify. That's weird. Let's see what that does. Oh, okay. It just didn't do anything. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, as long as it saves. I'm sure it would work on a GBX cart or something of the sort. Let's just see if that... double check that it is still working. Yeah, as you can see, it's working fine. So there you go. There's another one, and I think while I was doing it, this crack is widened slightly, and I've noticed that there might be a little crack here. Like I say, these things are pretty brittle. I mean, the front one actually seems in decent condition. I can't see any cracks on there. It's the back. I usually put it on now to toughen it up a bit, but there you go. Unfortunately, that's happened, but maybe I can get a replacement at some point. But there you go. So that was the issue. FRAM. So thanks for watching, guys, and as I say, this is just a test for this new recording setup, and I'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll do this in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.